Greg Amberg from OddsShopper here to break down Friday's NBA slate. As you guys come in, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and as per usual, any comments that you guys leave below, they are really appreciated. Helps us out a whole bunch in the YouTube algorithm, anywhere from just saying thanks, you support the video, or questions, comments, even if it's stuff like you don't understand a bet, you don't like it, let me know all of that below, and it does all help us, whether the comments or positive or negative. I read them all. I like to hear from you guys and like to engage with you. So anything at all, once again, that is appreciated if you leave those comments below. And yesterday was a really good betting night for me. So recapping what happened last night, we had the betting video went 1-1 in those picks. The one that lost was Torrey Craig over 5.5 rebounds. Unfortunately, he finished with 5 boards, so a little annoying to lose by the hook on that one, but the other bet we had won pretty easily in the video. Spencer Dinwiddie over 28.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. But what really made the night so successful yesterday was a couple of things from our Discord channel. Number one is I did have one other prop bet I added. It was DeAndre Ayton over 21.5 points, and that was one that he hit also fairly easily. We saw the Suns really shorthanded last night after the trade deadline, and Devin Booker was resting, so it seemed like there was going to be extra usage going to DeAndre Ayton that wasn't quite being accounted for at the book. So that one ended up winning. But then also, I had a futures bet that I had thrown in Discord channel. What was this now? Like 2-3 months ago, I was betting Brian Daboll to win Coach of the Year in the NFL, and I had him at 28-1 to win Coach of the Year. So got the tickets there. That ended up cashing. So overall, super profitable on the backs of us winning that futures bet on Daboll for Coach of the Year. And then also a little nice added bonus from DeAndre Ayton hitting the over on his points prop. That's the kind of stuff that I provide in the Discord channel, or anything that I think is some sort of breaking news that I can't provide the same sort of access or information to on YouTube. Discord, it's just more direct, where anything that happens, like a player getting ruled out, trades, those kind of things, I give you guys updates on how that opens up value pretty quickly. And if that is something that you guys want to get some extra value from as well, sign up using the link below, because that is going to get you 50% off your first week of our Insider Discord package. And it's not just myself, and there's also all the other guys on the YouTube channel. So we're all in there answering questions, sweating bets, and whatnot. So if that is of interest to you, once again, 1 week, 50% off when you sign up using that link that we have below. But let's talk about Friday's NBA slate. We're heading into the weekend. These are my favorite bets of the night. So my first bet of the day, and this is going to come right from our projections over at NBA Bet Pro, our prop betting tool over at stochastics.com. And we do have a 1-week free trial available if you guys sign up using the link below in the comments to Bet Pro. But under 7.5 rebounds for Ja Morant, this is a massive number for the point guard who, while he has generally been better in the rebounds department since Steven Adams got hurt, I think we're going to see some pretty major regression here. So if you look at overall for the season, Morant's actually averaging less than 6 rebounds per game. And even though he had that stretch of games from... It was January 27th through February 2nd. We saw a bunch of big rebounding games in a row for Ja Morant, but he came back to earth last game, 6 rebounds against Chicago. And then overall for the last month, he's still only averaging 5.6 rebounds per game over the course of the last month, even with some of those big games being accounted for. And I just don't think we're going to see Ja Morant as a guy who's regularly putting up 8+ rebounds per game. Like I said, he's averaging 5.9 rebounds per game for the season. Over the last month in total, he's averaging 5.6 rebounds. And we Morant project for 6.3 today. It's a matchup against the Minnesota Timberwolves that have a really big front court. They've got Rudy Gobert. They've got Naz Reid out there as well, who sometimes plays alongside Gobert. It's a difficult team for a smaller guard to rebound against. And our projections like the under for Ja Morant, I tend to agree based on his results for the season. So my first bet of the night, it is Ja Morant for under 7.5 rebounds. If you guys haven't signed up at DraftKings Sportsbook yet and claimed your easy $200, you're running out of time, because this offer is going to be going away after the Super Bowl ends. And all you have to do to get $200 from DK Sportsbook is sign up using the link that we have below. Place a $5 bet on any mark you like for any sport, player prop, side, total, and that bet pays out $200 regardless of if it wins or loses. But like I said, this offer is going to end after the Super Bowl. So if you haven't taken advantage yet, make sure you do it in the next couple of days. Sign up at DK Sportsbook using our link. This is the easiest way you guys could possibly make $200. So take advantage of it now. If you or anybody that you know has a gambling problem, call or text the number 1-800-GAMBLER. The next bet of the day I have, it is Raptors -7 at home against the Utah Jazz. And this one hurts me. because I've been big on the Utah Jazz this year. I thought they were really undervalued heading into the season. They had an over-under wins total that actually already hit. We already hit the over on that. It was something that I had bet. I also have them at 14-1 to be in the play-in game, which is probably close to dead now after they traded away Mike Conley at the trade deadline. This was a team that was just exceeding expectations coming into the year, and I just think that the second half of the year is going to be really rough for the Utah Jazz, as they've kind of transitioned from being a team that was fighting for a play-in spot to now a team that's more, not quite tanking, but definitely a team that's more settled themselves into not being contending for the playoffs after trading away Mike Conley, trading away Malik Beasley and Jared Vanderbilt at the trade deadline, and not really getting any assets to help them this year. It's a team that's building towards the future. And I think this is a spot for them also where some of the recent games have just not been remotely competitive. And the Toronto Raptors kind of surprisingly did the inverse of the Utah Jazz. This was a team that was expected to be sellers at the trade deadline. They didn't end up finding a deal for OG Anunoby. They actually turned down deals where they offered 3 first-round picks. And they traded 1 pick to get Jakob Poeltl. And Poeltl's familiar with Toronto. He was with them in the past. And I assume that he's going to play today and start at center and play big minutes right out of the gate. He's a big upgrade over Precious Achiuwa. Also gives the Toronto Raptors some much needed depth in the front court. So I think the Raptors are going to make a push for the play-in game. And then as for the Utah Jazz, this is a team that's on the downswing post-trade deadline. So I think this is a good time to sell on Utah and definitely start to fade them going forward. And to make matters worse for them, they traded Mike Conley, so they're already a little bit thinner in the backcourt. And now also Jordan Clarkson, questionable plays, dealing with an illness. He was not at shoot-around this morning. I presume that he is not going to play today, which is really going to hurt the opportunity for the Utah Jazz to just be able to create any kind of offense when they're on the offensive side of the game. And they've been a good offense this year, but the defense has been just terrible. So with no Conley and also likely no Jordan Clarkson today, I really do like the Toronto Raptors in this game, taking the -7. And now my final bet of the day, it is also going to come from this exact same game, and part of it's because of some of the blowout risk that I think is involved in it, but Lauri Markkanen over-under for rebounds prop is 9.5. I like the under. We've got him projected for 8.2 rebounds in our projections in NBA Bet Pro. And then also when it comes to Lauri Markkanen, I understand, like I said, the Jazz are going to be a little bit more shorthanded likely in the front, in the backcourt today. But that's not the case in the front court. This is still a team that's playing a lot of big lineups. They held on to Kelly Olynyk. They still have, obviously, Walker Kessler has been a stud for them as far as a big man goes. And actually one of the best rookies in all of the NBA this year. The only rookie I think that's been better than Walker Kessler has been Paolo Banchero. And just, it's hard to pull down rebounds when you're somebody like Lauri Markkanen who's playing alongside Olynyk, playing alongside Walker Kessler in the front court. And that has led to some decreased rebounding as of late for Lauri Markkanen, who earlier in the year was just crushing some of his rebound props. And now the numbers, it's just so high at 9.5, because if you look at Markkanen, some of his recent games, and a lot of this too is because he's playing alongside Olynyk and Walker Kessler in the front court. Last game, 5 rebounds against the Minnesota Timberwolves. The game before, 7 against the Dallas Mavericks. So if you look at the last week of games for Lauri Markkanen, he's only averaging 7.3 rebounds per game. Over the last 2 weeks, he's averaging 8 rebounds per game. I just don't think we're going to see as many double-digit rebounding games from Markkanen in the second half of the year, playing in bigger lineups. So Lauri Markkanen under 9.5 rebounds is my final bet of the day. So recapping my 3 bets for Friday, bring us into the weekend. I have Ja Morant under 7.5 rebounds, the Raptors -7, and then finally Lauri Markkanen under 9.5 rebounds. Let me know what you guys think about these bets below in the comment section. But also, before you leave, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I hope you guys have a great weekend.